Greetings! So in today's video, we'll be taking a look at this palette from Lightwish. I've recently looked at a palette from them that was more for student, beginners, kids. This one is their artist grade watercolor set of 24 colors in half pans. So we have fine artist watercolors. Not a lot of info on the box, but it's a very pretty box. You open it, and then the palette is wrapped in a microfiber cloth. The palette is really quite nice. It has this logo printed on it in gold, very classic. Also interesting, but it has 5 wells in the lid. I've seen a lot of palettes that had 4 of them, but having 5 is nice because that gives you one more to mix. And then this flip out tray, we have a swatch card, Lightwish artist grade watercolor, some info, the back, the address, and in there, of course, room and info for swatching the paints. So it's very fine type, but we have the paint's number, the paint's name, the medium, in this case gum arabic, color material, so the pigment, light fastness, and transparency. And then in the palette we have a beautiful brush, sort of a quill type brush. No sizing number on the handle, but it's a really nice smooth handle, good length. Seems to be a really nice size of brush too, but yeah, I'll have to go rinse it out. I don't want to break it. And then we have the colors. So they come in the usual 2 trays like we see in these palettes. Each tray has 12 colors. The colors come in little pans that have a wrapper on them. The wrapper appears to be sticky, which is nice because that means you can stick it on your swatch sheet. It has all the same info as you had in the swatch card that came with the set. The pens themselves don't appear to be labeled, so that's the one thing that I'll probably do on my own, is use a Sharpie and label the colors. But yeah, pretty straightforward, seems to be simple to unwrap. So what I'll do is I'll unwrap everything, swatch the paints, swatch them in my sketchbook, and do a little test painting with them, and then I'll come back and we can talk about that. See ya in a bit. And I'm back with the set. So I used the set, and also I used the brush that came with the set. The very first thing that I did was paint some swatches. So I painted them in the Lightwish sketchbook, the binder sketchbook, because let's keep all the brand stuff together, why not? When I first painted these swatches, I was a bit bothered by some of the colors that appeared kind of blotchy to me. Like this burnt sienna, this hooker's green. Like some of the colors didn't look quite right on the paper. I was like, okay, let's try them on paintings and we'll see. Also of note, I kept all the wrappers taped to the back of my swatch sheet. So that's a good way to keep all the info together. But yeah, so I did 2 paintings, one on this paper and one on my usual standard paper so that I could compare. The paints were really awesome to paint with. They don't look like much on these swatches, but I feel like they delivered really well when it came to painting. So this is one of my paintings that I did. Now the set doesn't come with any white paint, so the little stars were made with a separate white watercolor, but everything else was painted with these paints from the tin. And I tried to use the brush also as much as possible. Of course, for details, it's not the best brush, but for, you know, basic work, it's really good. And I really love how this turned out. I think the colors behaved really well. They layered like I wanted. I was able to, you know, put so many layers down to get to this level of darkness for everything. And I didn't encounter any real issues. There is a bit of a texture going on. I think it might be the paper. I haven't really encountered much of that texture on the other paper that I used. Perhaps you can see it worked out really well, and I'm quite happy with how this turned out. That's for this first painting. Now this second painting that I did is this one. Again, this is kind of a really dark scene with a source of light, and that means that you have to be able to go quite deep with the colors. And I was able to do that no problem with these paints. it worked out really well. Like, I was able to put layer upon layer and then even more layers of paint for all the elements, and it worked out really well in my opinion. I'm quite happy with how this one turned out too. When I layered all the colors in either of those pieces, they didn't become opaque or what some people refer to as chalky. So yeah, when a set works for me and delivers the kind of performance that I needed to, I really don't have all that much to say. Now, I would still encourage you to go check it out. I'll have all the link in the description. I think it worked out perfectly and it's a really good set. It has a good range of color, a very useful selection of colors in my opinion. And I always feel like this kind of set, this 24 half pan set, is super versatile. It's compact, it's easy to carry, and you even get this beautiful brush with it. So all in all, I think this is an excellent set. I would love to read what you think in the comments. And again, thank you so much, Lightwish, for sending me this set to try out. I had a really great time with it. It worked out really well. And thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. See ya all in the next one. Bye bye!